All right, let's take a look at how parties have fared in the different provinces. Let's start with Mpumalanga province. Of course, Mpumalanga province has traditionally been the stronghold of the ANC. It still is, with 27% of the votes, followed by the MK party, a relatively new party. And of course, we do understand that some voters have warmed up to Zuma, President Jacob Zuma, since he was at the helm of the ANC, which the ANC was at a stronghold of Mpumalanga. Then the EFF, of course, coming closely behind with 7% of the national vote in Mpumalanga. That's about 51 seats of the votes predicted for Mpumalanga. The Democratic Alliance coming at 6%, with the Freedom Front Plus at 1%, and 1% is for the other parties which have contested for seats in the Mpumalanga legislature. All right, let's take a look at the Free State province. Again, this has been a stronghold of the ANC in the previous elections. It still is, with 16% of the provincial vote, followed by the Democratic Alliance with 7% of the vote. The EFF coming closely behind at 4%, with the Freedom Front Plus at 1%, Umkhonto we Sizwe 1%, and all the other parties coming at 1%. And all these parties are jostling for 36 of the Free State legislature. All right, let's take a look at the next province. We have Gauteng, the hotly contested province, the economic hub of South Africa. Again, the ANC has got 28% of the votes, and all these parties are jostling for 80 seats in the economic hub of South Africa, with the Democratic Alliance trailing behind at 22%, with the EFF at 11%, Umkhonto we Sizwe party coming closely at 8%, and as well as, let me take a look at the other party. Well, all the other parties, of course, are coming behind at 8% of the vote. All right, let's take a look at the next province. We have KwaZulu-Natal. Well, KwaZulu-Natal has traditionally been the stronghold of the ANC, but the Umkhonto we Sizwe, just 6 months old, has changed the fortunes. Well, we're likely to see whether the tectonic plates in the democratic and the politics space in KwaZulu-Natal will change, with Umkhonto we Sizwe being in charge of that province, garnering 37% of the provincial vote. That's, all these parties jostling for 80 seats in the provincial parliament, with the Inkatha Freedom Party, of course, which has been another favorite in that particular province, with the ANC. Surprisingly, the ANC is now falling at third position in KwaZulu-Natal, which has been the stronghold of that party, closely followed by the Democratic Alliance with 11%, and the EFF 2%, and all other parties at 1%, all jostling for 80 seats in KwaZulu-Natal legislature. All right, Limpopo, there we go. Limpopo is, 64 seats by the ANC, closely followed by the economic freedom fighters, surprisingly so, because, apparently Limpopo voters were leaning more towards the EFF. Well, that's according to some analysis by political analysts as a prelude to the elections. But they've managed to get about 9% of the provincial vote, with the DA coming closely behind at 4%, with the Freedom Front Plus at 1%, Umkhonto we Sizwe 1%, and as well as all the other parties coming up at 1%, and jostling for 64 seats in the Limpopo legislature. All right, we've got the next province, which is the Northwest. The ANC leading that province at 23% of the votes, with 7% by the EFF, with 5% of the provincial vote by the DA, 1% by the Freedom Front Plus, the Umkhonto we Sizwe, and all other parties all garnering 1% of the Northwest provincial vote. Northern Cape, again, the ANC has been the stronghold of the ANC. They're still coming out tops with the 15% of the vote, even though I do understand they did not get a majority of the vote in that province, with 15 projected seats, with the DA coming up with 7 projected seats, the EFF coming up with 4 projected seats, The next part, well, I can't clearly, the Patriotic Alliance, that is coming up with 3 predicted seats, the Freedom Front Plus with 1 seat, and all the other parties could not manage to get a seat. But of course, these are just projected stats that are still coming through. They might change in the next couple of hours. And this is the Eastern Cape. And the Eastern Cape is still pretty much the stronghold of the ANC with projected 46 seats. Followed by the DA at 11 seats, 7 by the EFF and the UDM, of course, with 3 seats, and the Patriotic Alliance, 2 seats, and all other parties, 3 projected seats, all jostling for 72 seats in the Eastern Cape. All right, the Western Cape, of course, it has been the stronghold of the Democratic Alliance, and they still are in this election. They might just get 24 seats. These are the projected figures. And the ANC is still coming behind with 8 projected seats. The Patriotic Alliance with 3 projected seats. EFF, 2. What's this other party? All right, we'll let you know in a moment. And 4 other parties with 4 projected seats. And all these all these parties have been jostling for the 42 seats in the Western Cape. All right, this was just a graphical representation of some of the projected seats, and I do understand that we are nearing 98% of the votes being captured.